Hey, what's up? It's Doug Cunnington here, and I'm going to go over 7 different ways that you can improve the conversions for the retail season. So, some of these are maybe not going to apply for everyone's sites, but you probably should be able to figure out 1 or 2 that you'll be able to use. So, I'm going to jump right into it. I think we have a few people in the chat. I'll come over there in just a second. Field any questions. I think you could hear me. So thanks everyone that is hopping on live. I'm going to try and make this kind of a quick one today. So first off, I want to let you know that this is sort of inspired by a blog post that I wrote. The link is in the description, and I go into a little bit more detail in that particular post. So do have a look. I give some screenshots, some other examples, stuff like that. So number one, and maybe this is like part 0. Most people, if you're in affiliate marketing, will end up making more money in the retail season. I did some analysis myself looking at my sites over the last couple of years, and it looks like, if I remember right, it's something like 30% of the revenue for the whole year is in like basically the last 40 days of the year, which is great. So if you can optimize a little bit, it's a good thing to do. So that's part 0. The retail season is a good thing, and a lot of times you're going to end up making way more money in the last 40 days than any other 40-day period throughout the year. So number one, most likely, I'm assuming your page is oriented towards a specific buyer's keyword or some product, something like that. But if you have the opportunity, you could tack on something holiday or gift related to the title. And I give some examples in the blog post, but basically, if it's like ballpoint pens, you could say best ballpoint pens for Christmas or for the holiday season or something like that. So be creative, add something gift related, use your copywriting skills. And the idea is to improve the click-through rate on the SERP. So if you could improve the click-through rate, you may even, hopefully you'll get more visitors. But if you're ranking like not number 1, you may be able to move up if you can get more people clicking on your result than the people that are ranking above you. So there's a twofold thing happening there. Add something gift related. That's number 1. Number 2, use holiday theme elements, right? So I'm not a huge like design person, but if you have the opportunity, you can put like a stocking or a little like a bow or a Christmas tree or a wreath or something holiday related somewhere in your design. And okay, I haven't tested this, but I read it in a couple spots as I was doing research for this post. And why not add those little holiday elements? People are in the buying mode, and especially like this weekend, it's going to actually starting probably like tomorrow afternoon, it's going to start to pick up most likely. And if people see these elements that make them happy, then maybe they'll buy. So usually, honestly, if people make it to your site and they're looking for like product information and research, then it's probably going to do really well. Okay, next. Number 3, add a gifts section. So you may have a gifts section already on a particular page, but if you do not, then it's great to maybe towards the top 1/3 or 25% of your post, just put a little section, put a little box there and say, here are great gifts in this particular category. And just make a bulleted list and maybe put, 1 sentence why you like that one. I have a specific example within the post, and basically it's just an affiliate link. I like this model because, it's good for this particular type of user or something like that. You don't have to overthink it. People just want a curated list. And if they see like a title that they like and a little catchy piece of copy in there, they're probably going to click it and go through. All right. Number 4, add a stocking stuffer section. So this is kind of the same idea as the previous one. However, it provides you with some other constraints. Additionally, some people may be looking for like stocking stuffers for photographers or something like that. So if you could add a section in there like that, you may be able to draw in some more long tail keywords for people looking for specific things. So the idea here is you do have a couple more constraints, maybe. So number one, most likely these need to fit into a stocking, like a big sock. So they can't be like giant. All right. So probably they're going to be a little smaller in stature. And then further, not everyone, but some people think of stocking stuffers as like cheaper items. So you may be able to take the opportunity and say like stocking stuffers within a specific price range. So under $5 or under 25 or whatever. Obviously, when people give gifts, the price range is completely variable depending on who it is. So again, you could just create a box, keep it simple, bulleted list, like one sentence afterwards. Okay, the other two or three coming up here. So we're on number 5. These are things that you could apply the whole rest of the year to. So mobile should look great. A lot of people are going to be out at stores. They may be doing some research, maybe looking up prices and trying to figure out if they should buy something at the store they're at or to order online. So mobile should look great and not just responsive, but it should be like it should look good. So check on your actual phone or use some of the tools that we have available to check how your phone or other phones would display your page. And thanks for the questions over there. I'll hop over once I get through the material and I'll do a quick recap and then I'll hop over there. So number 6 is fast load time. So kind of the same idea. People are going to be on mobile. If they happen to be in a store, their signal may not be great. They may not be on LTE or like whatever fast mobile or wireless connection they have. So it should load fast and you should double check, make sure your images aren't like ginormous and just way too big or bigger than they need to be. And, make sure your site loads fast. So I wouldn't recommend that you try and switch hosting like right now, because a lot of times when you switch hosting, you're going to have a couple hiccups. So I would just do what you can to make sure your site loads fast. You may be able to implement a CDN or caching or something like that if you don't have the opportunity to change host right now. Again, I wouldn't necessarily make any drastic changes during this period. You want to do that like during the low stretch in like September, October, that sort of thing. All right. And number 7, the last one here. Mention holidays or gifts in the intro. So this is a callback to the first one where you're mentioning gifts or the holiday season in the title, but you could also put it in the intro. Once people start reading, you want to draw them in and let them know they're in the right place. So that is the 7 ways. There's probably some others. Feel free to list some others in the comments if you have any, or in the chat if you're here with me live. Cool. So I'm going to hop over to the chat right now, field a couple questions, and I'm going to try not to go too long here. So we have All Wayne on. What's up? Good to have you on. We have Jaron as well. And Jaron says, around what date do you usually see the uptick for the retail season? So I mentioned the last 40 days, something like that. However, last week I saw like a distinct uptick in like traffic and earnings and stuff. So like it was clear that people were starting to get into the holiday spirit. And I think this year it corresponded to Veterans Day. So it was actually the Sunday before Veterans Day, and then Veterans Day, just right away, I could tell things were happening, right? People were getting out their credit cards and buying stuff. Further, I'm probably going to, I pulled like the reports from last year actually I have 2 points. So I pulled the reports from Amazon for one site, and I was looking at the data to see like the earnings and like sort of the earnings per day. And as soon as Black Friday hit, then you're at a dramatic amount over the rest of November, and then October is like a whole other situation, right? So people just buy so much more stuff. Now, when you are looking at this year versus last year, Thanksgiving is early. So Thanksgiving is on the 22nd this year. Is that right? Yeah, the 22nd is tomorrow. And I think it was in 2013. I went back and did some research. So in 2013, I think it was on the 28th, right? Thanksgiving was on the 28th, leaving only 2 days in November for shopping. So if you do the math, basically there are 6 additional days this year for shopping, and I think that'll be a good thing overall. So we will see if my theory is correct, but I think that's a good thing overall. Okay, Jared's on. What's going on? Echo. Let's see. All right. Good to have you on. Alwyn says, Alex at WP Eagle is live also. Cool. I didn't even know. Jared says, speaking of click-through rate, what's my opinion on frequent updating of posts? Some of the competition seems to update articles every few days. Jared, I don't have a strong opinion on it. Is your competition doing well with their frequent updates? And what do they update it with? Are they actually making like true updates, or are they just updating the titles and tweaking things? And my hunch, or my suggestion is, if it's working well for them, see what they're doing and try to recreate it and do a better job. For me, I don't have time or the desire to do frequent updates on just about anything. So that said, you have to weigh, like, are they getting much out of it? I mean, if I made tweaks to titles all the time and it wasn't doing anything, then it's just a waste of time. So you have to analyze that. Okay, so IONut says, when do I open my affiliate course? So generally, shoot me an email. Shoot me an email at, are you on the email list? Let me know. So basically, I have been opening it up quarterly. So January would be the next time. I'm not sure if I'm going to open it up again in January or if I'm going to hold off and wait a little longer. So we'll see. But if you're on the email list, you may have the opportunity to enroll like off the quarterly cycle. Shoot me an email and I could check it out for you, send you a link specifically if you're interested. Okay. Izzy says, you've seen me reviewing some of the Amazon niche websites on my channel. Is it legal, or is there a chance of getting community guideline strike from YouTube? Why would it not be legal? If you could let me know what your, I don't think so, because most of those have been out there for several months, and I don't think there's an issue. But if you let me know what you think would be illegal about it, then I could talk about it. Thomas, what's going on? So Jared says they're updating the date, not much value in that, but it might look spammy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if there's not much. Yeah, I would say if they're just updating the date, then there's probably not a huge amount of value in it. So, Thomas says, what tools am I using to optimize tables for mobile? I'm using no tools. Right now, you have a separate duplicate post for mobile where the only difference is the table is in a single column. The mobile table is in a single column. So I don't do that specifically. I just have a responsive table that looks good on mobile. And I use an HTML table generator, and I keep my table simple. If you try and put too much information in there, it can get a little wild and crazy. So I just try and keep things simple. I actually don't have like AMP, the accelerated mobile pages set up or anything like that. But if you are doing, it sounds like you are into it. If you have duplicate posts for mobile, then you must be more sophisticated in the way you're dealing with it. So my assumption is if you have a single column table, then potentially that's going to look better. So, okay. Any other questions or thoughts on the optimization or anything like that? And while I got a handful of people on, Who here listens to podcasts? So my wife and I have a podcast, and I've occasionally mentioned it, but I haven't done any. I haven't done a specific amount of like promotion or anything like that. We've kind of been trying to, find our way and get a little better at it before really publicizing it and on a larger scale. So, okay, some people like podcasts. So, it's called Survive the 9 to 5. It's on iTunes and I think the like Google Play Store, and I just submitted it to Spotify, and it's on Overcast if you use Overcast. So basically, you can have a listen. There's a few. I think we're getting better in the like the more episodes that we're doing. We're more confident when we're speaking and all that stuff. Getting used to the equipment and just how to let it run. So have a listen. The reason why I was bringing it up, number one, when I first started talking about doing a podcast, people are into it and stuff, and they say, yeah, we'll listen to it. Now, it's not pure affiliate marketing oriented at all. We're going to start getting into some side hustles and stuff like that, but it's called Survive the 9 to 5, and it's generally around like working in a corporate environment and some of the things you have to deal with. She has a corporate job. I do not right now. So, but I have in the past. So I can speak more like candidly, I guess. And anyway, the point is, some people were saying, hey, just put the podcast on YouTube. Obviously, I'm talking to people on YouTube right now. So you're most interested in like consuming stuff on YouTube. So would you like be more likely to listen to the podcast if it was on YouTube, or if you could just get it through your podcast, however you're listening to it? So, and Thomas says you listen every day on the way to work, and Thomas is trying to leave the corporate environment and see, and that's what I suspect. I mean, most people do have a job 9 to 5, and most people will probably stay in their 9 to 5 for some stretch. You get benefits. It's more generally accepted. And if you have a family, then there's a lot of other people counting on you. So that said, just curious, because I have thought about, pulling the audio, just put it on YouTube, let people get to it that way, because some people are not going to listen on like their device or podcast in general. They just want YouTube stuff. So just curious. Okay. Izzy says, I don't know if I understand your question. Where can we see the Amazon niche website business in 2019? So if you could rephrase that, that would be better. Okay. Echo says YouTube would be better. Okay. Jared says, anyone using CDNs? I use CDNs. And I use them in conjunction. I think maybe you have to. I use them in conjunction with my caching plugin. So together it does speed things up. It's a little bit of setup. It's not super hard. I use Max CDN, and the customer service has been like remarkable. Like you can chat with someone immediately. And I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like 24 hours a day. They seem to have support out there, and they're like real admins. So if I ask a question, they can like actually go check things, and they're not just customer support. They're like technical admins, so they know how to do it. Thomas says, is it hard to do both? Not really. I think I just need to pull the audio and just have, like one screenshot rolling, and then I could publish it there. But, number one, actually, I just had like a couple hesitations, but part of it is I just was like waiting to see like how the podcast was going to go. Like I said, we've gotten better, and I think the later episodes are a little bit better. So, but yeah, give a listen. It's called Survive the 9 to 5. So you could have a look, just search for it. You should be able to find it pretty easily there. Okay, so Izzy says, what is the future of Amazon niche website? Will the trend continue in 2019? I think so. I the these questions are tough. I think people like to ask these all the time. Things move really slowly, but things constantly change. So I'm sure there's going to be some quirks and some other things, but I've been doing it for 5 years. And, commission rates have changed, SEO has changed, but generally the model has stayed the same. And prior to when I got involved in 2013, there were affiliate sites for years before that. So my hunch is there will be a small amount of change because change is pretty constant. It's usually not super dramatic, but it'll be a little bit different, but probably not very much. So I don't know what do you think? What do you think is going to happen in 2019? All right. So tomorrow I'm not doing it's Thanksgiving here in the US, so I'm not doing a like webinar training or anything like that. I think I will probably still do a Friday Q&A session that I just hop on here today. And quick note, I am trying to like list questions or ask for questions in the community tab for the channel. So if you noticed the video that I published on this past Monday, just a couple days ago, I answered 3 questions, gave people shout outs. I showed where they asked the question. And per the analytics, it looks like people like it. So people were watching it. They appreciated getting the shout out. They were helpful questions. Usually, if you have a question, there are several other people that have similar questions. So it looks like it went well, and I'm probably going to try and do those more often. It's kind of a more formal way to do the Q&A sessions where I don't have to manage the chat. I can talk a little bit more, maybe even come up with some examples. So, okay. So Jared says, one thing you're worried about is the monster review sites that hit every niche under the sun. Yeah, so that would be, yeah, those are tough, but I think there's still room, especially with the keyword golden ratio, where you can really target a little bit more specifically. Now, that's not to say that those sites couldn't just do the same thing and publish even more content. A lot of times, you will still see like big sites rank, but smaller and newer sites can rank. And in fact, so I have 2 examples. For the people that watch a lot of these, you may know I've mentioned that I started another site, and I've been working with a student pretty closely. So in both cases, within 6 weeks, like there are a few posts ranking, and not only that, like a few sales coming through. And it's just keyword golden ratio content, a little bit more informational content than affiliate content, and just simple, clean sites, nothing fancy. They're ranking for terms that are just long tails, and it's they're young. They're only a few weeks old, and in some cases, two, obviously I can't be too specific, but 2 of the pages I know of on at least one of the sites were ranking in the top 10 within like a couple weeks. That's pretty good for a brand new, fresh site. The domain was purchased in like, mid-October, published a couple posts, and I've got a few things out there. No link building, 0 link building, just getting into that stuff. So anyway, the point is things are shifting a little bit. There's big sites out there. Thomas says, you think Google will give more clout to newer or fresher content? And I imagine like voice search is going to have some impact. Along with voice search, there's probably going to be some like priority given to sites that have like a short form answer, like a 1 to 2 sentence answer for a specific like query that someone may ask on their voice device. So anyway, the point is things will shift, and I think it'll be like technology based in most cases, like voice search. People are searching a little bit differently, and in that case, like you may be like the choice that Google is giving for like a question that someone asks their device. But in that case, they get the answer right away, and they may not follow the link, right? So some of those featured snippets, if someone can get the answer right there in the little box, they may not need to go on to your site to read anymore. And Jared says, yes, I can see that Google would want to answer the search query as best it can in a short form, right? So long content is great, except when you don't need long content. So if it's a simple, question like, what's the boiling point temperature at 5,000 feet, like there's just an answer for it, right? There's just an answer. So you don't want to write something crazy long if the answer is like 208 or whatever it is. Okay, Echo says, what do I think you should do? You're getting 730 visitors, but no sales. The site is 4 months old. So, okay, I'll answer this one question, and I think we'll call it a day. Thanks, everyone, for hopping on, by the way. So the answer is 730 visitors is not that many, so you probably need more traffic. Are the visitors going to – I'll rephrase it. You should make sure your traffic, or at least some of your traffic, is going to pages that are like buyer keyword oriented. So if you have informational posts where no one is trying to buy anything and they don't want to buy anything, then you should probably write more content or try and rank the content better, improve the content that is buyer focused. So 730 isn't really that many. So you probably need more traffic, but also make sure that traffic is going, is the right kind of traffic. Make sure that traffic is going to a page and they have the intent to buy something in the next 24 hours. That's what you need to do. And Izzy says the best thing to do is be patient. So more traffic, and there's other details we don't know. You may only have a few posts, so add more content. If you haven't done any link building or outreach or blog commenting, do some of that. All of that will help. If there are pages where you are getting traffic, which obviously there are, you're getting 730 visitors a month. So in that case, check out what's working, right? See what pages are getting the traffic, see what pages are not getting the traffic, and try and figure out like what's working. Do more of that. Do less of what's not working. Obvious statement. But basically, if you could optimize around that, then you should be able to get there. So, but it sounds like you're doing good. Keep pushing forward, and like Izzy says, be patient. Okay, Jan or Jan says the KGR is working great. Fantastic. Thanks for sharing the formula. You're welcome. Spread the word. Spread the word. And if you all, gentlemen and ladies, have the opportunity to watch other videos and or leave comments on videos, that's great. Would definitely appreciate it. And if you do have questions, look out for the live stream on Friday. I'll probably do it the normal time. My wife's working on Friday, so I'll be doing some stuff myself, and the live stream's one of them. So keep an eye out for that, and everybody have a good Thanksgiving if you are celebrating it or having turkey or ham or whatever you're doing. So, and if you're not, we'll have some. I'll have a beer. I'll have a beer for you. Okay, see you later, Jared, and thanks for my moderators. We had Furhan on here and Jaron as well. So really appreciate it, guys, to keep order in the chat room. So have a good one. We'll catch you on Friday. Thanks.